Okay, so welcome back, and now we're going to do another example, but in this example is an example of where we get a constant in the numerator and 0 in the denominator. Remember, that was one of the things that when we did the quotient rule, or the quotient law for taking limits, we couldn't have 0 in the denominator. Well, in this case, if we plug in 2, what do we get? We get -1 over 0. Okay, so this is problematic. Now, if we think about it, it's undefined at 2. But remember, limits means that we're approaching 2, but we're never equal to 2. So even though it's undefined at 2, we want to know what the behavior of the graph is as we get infinitely close to 2. So if we think about this, as we approach 2 from the left, what's going on here? This is getting closer and closer and closer to 2, which means the numerator is getting closer and closer to -1. And the bottom is getting closer and closer to 0, right? So this is going towards a fixed number on the numerator. The denominator is getting closer and closer to 0. Okay? So, but this is positive, right? And this is minus a number it's approaching from the left, so it's less than 2. So this is slightly less than 4. And this is also slightly less than 4. Okay? And since this is growing faster than this, we know that this is getting bigger. This fraction is getting bigger, right? So we know it's going to infinity, right? But let's get a better idea of what's going on here. Okay? So let's factor this, and let's write this as the limit as x approaches 2 from the left. And let's write it like this. X minus 3, we'll factor this into x over x minus 2. Okay? So now, if we look at the bottom, this is going towards 0, and this is going towards 2. Okay? So let's factor out and split it up. Okay, because we want to split this part up from the rest of it. So let's write this as the limit as x approaches 2 from the left. And now let's write it as x minus 3 over x times 1 over x minus 2. Okay, now, what's happening here? Well, this here, as x approaches 2, right, from the left, it's still this is going to be negative, right? So this is approaching -1/2. Now what about this one? This one is approaching from the left, so x is smaller than 2. Right? And so this is also going to be going to what? It's smaller than 2, so you're getting a negative number here. So this fraction is negative, but this is going to infinity, so this is going to -infinity. Okay? So now, since this is negative and this is negative, then we conclude that the limit is going to positive infinity. Okay? So again, sometimes you gotta split things up, gotta like investigate and be creative about how you look at this. So just be aware, practice, gotta practice. So next, we're gonna introduce a new theorem, another theorem, a very important theorem that's used, that comes up time and again, called the squeeze theorem. And we're going to use the squeeze theorem, or we're going to see how the squeeze theorem can help us find the limit of functions that we otherwise wouldn't be able to find. Okay? So see you next time.